Welcome once again to your update from the city of New Hope. Time for another weekly look at what's new and what's coming up in the city. And to give us the information, it's the mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Just fine. Spring is finally here.
Yes, just beautiful outside. We'll talk about some of the outside activities going on in the city in a minute, but let's begin with community development. Talk about some numbers first of single family conversions to rental, something you keep an eye on each month at the city. What is the latest from April, Mayor?
Well, we had one rental going back to single family, and so far this year we've had 4 single family homes that converted to rental and 6 that converted from rental back to single family. So we do keep an eye on that, and mostly that's people going south and then they come back and change it back again.
Next item we want to touch on, this takes a little explaining, is property tax homestead exclusion. And it is something that is related to work happening at the legislature. Mayor, dig into this. What is this? How does it affect residents?
Well, I'm actually going to read this because it's so very confusing. The majority of the properties with homestead status in New Hope will be affected by the increase in the market value exclusion for homeowners that was approved by the Minnesota State Legislature in 2023. Under the current law, the homestead market value exclusion reduces the taxable market value for properties that are classified as homestead if they're valued at $413,800. During the 2023 season, the legislature authorized a modification in making that $517,200, and that's for taxes payable in 2025. And they did that to keep pace with the value of the houses since 2012.
Very good. All right. And if you're interested in more on that, I'm sure the city assessor would be happy to explain what that means a little bit further. Now let's take a look at scatter site housing, a few properties to talk about. But before we get to the existing properties, you've got the EDA working on some new properties. Tell us where you are in this process.
Well, there's 3 of them that are going on. One of the 3 is a lot that they're going to be able to split. But before they can actually go forward, it has to go to the Economic Development Authority, which is basically the city council that we meet after the council meeting. And then we'll see the 3 proposals, we'll vote on them, then it'll go back to community development, and then they will execute the purchases of those. Now, the lot on 50th and Winnetka, that's that double lot. They're closing on that on the 9th of May. Once they're closed, they'll start digging there. So I expect something to be happening there within a couple of weeks. The other one that's interesting is the one right off of Bass Lake Road and Boone. And now they've started to frame that one. So you drive by, you can see what that house is going to look like there. It looks like it's going to fit very nicely on the lot. So a lot of stuff going on in the housing in New Hope.
Yes, some great progress. Another way community development involved in the community is through the Business Networking Group, a successful meeting in May, and now we look ahead to June. Help us get that date on the calendar. What's coming up?
That's June 5th. It'll be at 8:30 at City Hall. All are welcome. It's the Business Network is New Hope and Crystal. Even if you don't have a business and you're just interested in the other businesses, you're welcome to come. It's free. It's just right inside City Hall. Very often we have donuts and coffee there or water. Just a nice thing to see going on. Last time we had it, I think there were about 30 people there. So it's catching on well.
Fantastic. Let's hop ahead to the police department. A little update here. Some meetings outside of City Hall for the police staff. They are always involved in other educational or conversations throughout the community. What were a few of the meetings this past week?
Well, my chief and a couple of officers and a captain went to the Minnesota Crime Prevention Association board. They also went to the Hennepin Chiefs meeting. And just a side note, we had 414 police-related calls last week. Now, that's not overly extended, I don't think. These guys are really, really busy. Those calls may be as easy as a broken window or just pull somebody over because they had a tail light off. They're not all crimes, by the way, but just police related. So our police department keeps very, very busy.
Very interesting numbers. All right, let's head to Public Works. This is a very busy group on our sheet here of notes. There's so many bullet points, we can't read them all, but Mayor, just give us a little recap here. What are some of the things Public Works works on here in this springtime?
Oh, they are always so busy. So first of all, they're fixing any turf in the parks that needs to be fixed. They're getting the ball fields ready for that. They're doing some street sweeping. They cleaned out some the catch basins and ponds after that big rain. They did a rain guard repair on Sumter, and they replaced water meters. Now, the really fun thing they did is they did a sanitary sewer inspection.
Mhm.
I'm not sure they thought that was fun, but there it is.
It needs to be done. Let's go to some of the bigger projects now in the city. We've mentioned this a couple times, street projects happening, and 36th Avenue is one to take note of. What's going to be happening there soon?
So they'll be doing a mill and overlay on 36th Avenue, and they will let the residents know when the street's actually going to be closed. So it'll be closed for maybe a couple of days, but they'll let you know before. The business will know too.
You mentioned a little bit about the rain earlier. Let's talk about the rain as it affects the public works expansion. They had to slow things down a little bit and stop the rain from running everywhere, I understand.
Well, they took out all the concrete that was there. They got it all nice and smoothed out, and then it rained. And it rained a lot. So now the contractor is doing some erosion control, getting it back into place, and they should start putting up the walls this week.
We are in the month of May, and as we head to Park and Rec, that means they're busy with Stepped to It Challenge. It is a co-op with the county. Again, remind us, Mayor, what the Step to It is and how easy it is to get involved.
They really want you to get out and move. And there's a whole list of things that actually get counted for your steps. It's not just actual steps you see on your watch. So you go into steptoit.org, and you can sign up. You can still do that, I think, this week. And then every day you're supposed to record your steps. Now, I can't remember every day, so about every third day I go in and put in what I can remember. They give out prizes at the end of every week and at the end of the thing, not only for the most steps, but then just some random prizes. It's really a good way to get you moving a little bit, and that's the whole idea behind that.
Yep, great idea. And if you want to get moving combined with a team or others, there's some ways to do it now through Park and Rec. They've got a number of activities that are starting up right now. Give us the laundry list of some of the fun that residents can have.
So there's something called the coach pitch softball or baseball. And that I'm assuming that's when the coach is pitching to the kids. So that starts up this week, along with pickleball, soccer, and tennis for the youth, and then pickleball and yoga for the adults. I think the yoga is to help the adults get moving after the pickleball. Not sure about that.
Probably necessary. Something that happened last week, dodging the raindrops, was the bike rodeo that happened in Robbinsdale, but a combined effort here. Tell us about that great success.
Well, that's New Hope, Crystal, Robbinsdale, and Golden Valley get together, and they have this bike rodeo. They move it around from city to city. And basically, they're teaching the young kids how to ride the bike, how to do hand signals, when they should stop, how they should stop. And they raffle up a couple new bikes. So that was just fun for the kids to be there.
Another note related to the rain is that's time for Park and Rec to be busy rescheduling games, not only because of the rain, but also because of a field quite not ready yet for use. What does this entail to get some games back on the schedule?
Well, the lighted field, they really don't want anybody on that until the end of May. They want that turf to just get hold a little bit better because they did some work there. So obviously they have to reschedule that. Well, with all this rain, they've got soccer games, they've got softball, they've got baseball, and they have to reschedule those games. So they're busy trying to get those all rescheduled is what they're doing.
Something else that happens at springtime here after a long winter, stuff gets blown around in the parks. They have park cleanups. What's happening within the parks to keep them clean?
Well, some of the parks are adopted by people. Yeah. Most of them, I think that we have one that isn't, but they have to coordinate that a little bit, make sure that they're actually doing that cleanup. So the park staff is busy doing that coordination right now too.
All right, remember this booklet right here. This is the place to go for all the information about Park and Rec activities. So lots of pages here, Mayor, for people. Just find more ways to get involved. There's something for everyone.
Yep, there is.
All right, take a look at this book here. Other things in this book, they mentioned the golf course. Let's give people a golf course update. What's the latest there as far as ability to play and some of the other planning they're doing?
Well, they've been on and off because of the rain, of course. Leagues have started, but you can still sign up for a league or for lessons. So you can do that now. If you want to play during the week, I suggest you call and see when the leagues aren't playing and get a tee time that way. The weekend, last weekend, was so busy. It was really really fun to watch. So the other thing, they're still doing the grips on the clubs. So I asked the guy at the golf course about the grips, and he said, well, you could probably take a couple strokes off your score if you had new grips. And I'm thinking if I brought in 2 grips or 10 grips, I'd get 4 or 20 strokes off mine. He said it doesn't quite work that way. But
Rats.
anyway, it's a quick turnaround to get those grips redone if you want to do that. And it's really easy. You just drop them off and they'll get them back to you.
Also an important time for people to get their information in if they're interested in renting some of the space around the golf course for events, right? That patio area is perfect, and I would guess a few graduations are being planned right now, so they shouldn't delay, correct?
They should not delay. That patio is very busy as graduations come. And so they're also busy trying to set up the golf outings. We have a lot of, last year I think we had 30 golf tournaments. So they're busy getting those scheduled in through the summer. The front patio, they try to leave open. They don't rent that out. But the back patio that's got the grills, it's underneath the awning so you don't get wet.
Right.
That fills up pretty quickly.
Fantastic. Let's go to the ice arena, talk about what's happening on the ice and also what's happening upstairs. The dancers are busy as always as well.
Well, on the ice, they're constantly renting that ice out to various groups. But upstairs, the dance girls, the boys, are getting ready for the recital. It's June 18th and 19th. If you want to really have a couple hours of pure enjoyment, get a ticket. You can do that by going online, or you can call the Park and Rec department and they'll help you get a ticket that way.
All right, here's that website, newhopemn.gov. Find out about the golf course, also about those dance recitals, also about the aquatic park. So it is busy time at the aquatic park because the clock is ticking. How soon until we can swim, Mayor?
They are scrambling over there in a good way. So the pool opens in less than a month. It'll open June 1st and 2nd, and then it'll be closed for the following week because the kids have to go back to school. That means the lifeguards and the staff. And then it'll open on the 8th of June, and then it'll be open for the entire summer. So remember that it opens at noon, and I think they're going to do the little tot time once a month. It should be all in that Park and Rec book, and you'll be able to get some information out of there. Good time to get a season pass for the pool.
Excellent. All right. We're in the month of May, and that is Arbor Month, by the way. And you've got some info related to Arbor Month and the Tree City designation for New Hope, and also an event coming up around that month as well, a special park cleanup. Tell us about Arbor Month and all that means for New Hope.
So May is Arbor Month, and you know, the trees, and we are also a Tree USA city. We have them for 26 years. We really do value our trees and try to save whatever we can, and the ones we can't, we take down and replace. So at Meadow Lake Park, they're doing a cleanup on the 8th of May, starting at 5 o'clock. Just bring gloves. They've got rakes and shovels. They're going to try to plant at least one tree there at the park this year.
It's up to Human Resources for one of our final updates here. We've got some new staff people on in the maintenance department. You had a chance to say hello.
I did. We got 2 new maintenance workers, and they started today. Of course, they're inside all day getting the orientation. They've passed all their equipment checks. So they will actually be at Public Works tomorrow, Tuesday, and be on the job working.
And the other part of HR right now, you mentioned the pool a second ago. They've got to get all the employees there ready to go, and they're doing some orientation sessions, I understand.
Well, they have to do 2 of them because there's so many of these kids that are there. So one of them is happening this week. They get the kids orientated, and then they'll have another one next week and do the same thing with them. So we should be ready to go on the 1st of June.
All right, a couple final notes to pass along, things again to look ahead on your calendar, and then one fun one coming up here. The first is the City Academy. This is one that the time is ticking as well to get signed up. Remind us, Mayor, again, what this is and why people might want to consider signing up.
Well, it's a 7-week course, and what they're doing, they'll meet once a week, and they will just explain what each of the departments do. A lot of times people will come into City Hall and they really don't know who they're supposed to be talking to. Well, after this academy, it should be a little easier for them. So they have until the 17th of May to sign up. Limited space. I understand there are a few spaces still available. So if that's something you want to do, just call Park and Rec or just call the City Hall number and tell them you want to sign up for the academy, and they'll do that for you.
All right. Also a website to go to, newhopemn.gov/City Academy. You can find out all of that information there. All right. We've saved it for the last. Here it is. It's snowplow naming time. We've talked a lot about this and you got some great response. And drum roll, please, because we've got some new names. Tell us about the contest and just the fun people had.
Well, the snowplows are inside and they've been cleaned up and they're ready to get their names on them. So the names are, and I'm going to read these so I don't get them wrong. The first one is Han Snolo. Han Snolo from Star Wars. The other
Right.
one is Snow Be Gone Kenobi. So Han Snolo and Snow Be Gone Kenobi will be the names of the two snowplows, and they'll be put on those plows sometime this summer.
And this is perfect timing around May 4th to get this information out, so couldn't be better.
May the 4th be with you.
There you go. All right. Well, that's your update from the city of New Hope. Stick with us. We've got to look at a calendar of some of the events coming up as well. And mention that website again, newhopemn.gov. Find out all you need about the city of New Hope. Mayor, thanks so much for your time again today. We look forward to talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Dave. See you then. Bye-bye.
Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.